I think this is a group that's really growing. You'll see there's 7 or 8 guys that caught passes for us last year. There's about 8, 9 guys that got a chance to take reps for us last fall. And so it's a group that I think for us, we're trying to just build on some of that experience and going into year 2, the same system and having some familiarity with the quarterback. I think these guys are certainly finding a little bit of their niche in their role in what we do offensively. So it's been fun. It's been a fun first 7 practices, and certainly excited to see how we finish things off. We've always been a personnel team. I think if you remember back to last fall, you would have seen there were times where we played with maybe 4 receivers on the field, or there were times where we put a big lineup on the field. Those guys can be big threats on 3rd down. They can be big threats in the red zone. They can certainly be great perimeter blockers for us. So all those guys certainly have a lot of value for us. And again, you can't coach size. Just like you can't coach speed, you can't coach size. And so those guys have a distinct advantage, especially when you look at the size of some of the defenders that we play against in this league. Yeah, I don't know if speed's ever anything that you can certainly coach, but I think game speed and competitive speed are things that we're working on him along with the rest of the group. But I think Deshaunte's got, a really high ceiling. You saw last year he led the team in explosive plays for us when you talk about plays over 20 yards, and one of the most explosive freshmen in the country last year. He's just got a great ability to extend the play after the catch. And it doesn't have to be something down the field. He's a guy that can catch a screen or a bubble or a quick slant and take it the distance. So he's a guy we're certainly excited about. The one thing that's really unique about him being a high school quarterback is he's got tremendous hands too. Adjusts the ball really well. Hands are really natural and doesn't fight the ball in the air. So, he's definitely another guy, along with Trevor Ryan at that position that, when you talk about speed, Trevor's our track guy. He's the guy that's competing in the Big 12 championships this winter. So, those guys certainly have the ability to really threaten the defense down the field. It is, and obviously Allen's certainly had a lot of opportunity the first 3 seasons to make a lot of plays, and certainly one of the best in the country, I think, coming back as a senior, and one of the best in the Big 12. But I think Allen's a guy that, didn't just come back just for himself, but he came back for this football team too. And I think there were some things in his game that he wanted to improve on. He wasn't a healthy Allen Lazard all season. I mean, if you remember back to weeks 2 through probably 5 or 6, he had a nagging toe injury and some things that were slowing him down. And then by the end of the year, you see him rattle off 4 straight 100-yard games to end the season and started to get back to what he was. So I think ultimately we want to be able to put him in a position where he can be his best. And so he's done a lot with our training staff to help prepare himself. And there's going to be some things that we work on to really try to elevate his game and try to rise this, his stock a little bit in the eyes of not only college football, but at the next level too.